Happy Friday, everyone. My daughter Carrie is here, you guys. And guess what? She is home. She is off the road for a few days. So cool. And she's had enough of the road today. I know that much. I love you, honey. I'm glad you're here. Rosie's here. Sharon is here. Mary, Joan, Maribel, Margaret. Hi, honey. I said you're off the road and you are so happy to be off the road. I'm glad you're home. Cat. Yes. Frozen. Chelsea's here too. Both the girls are here. Yay. Lorna. Yeah, she was driving in some thunderstorms today. So I'm so happy she's home safe. So she is home and she is going to enjoy that. And Chelsea got good news today. So happy for her too. So awesome. Happy Friday, Chels. Hey, Valerie Marie, it's good to see ya. Hey, did you guys like that new countdown? I did a new countdown and I thought it was kind of cool. What'd y'all think? Hi, Colleen. Yes, it's Friday. It's Friday night. It's crime. It's pajamas and crime, y'all. I got my sloth pajamas on tonight. Can y'all see them? See? I got my sloth pajamas on. And I am drinking out of my new Montana cup, courtesy of Nisi over at Freehandly Made AU. There might be a little something in there. Just saying. Okay, what am I missing? What am I missing? Oh, everybody's saying hi to everybody. I love it. Hey, Lori. Okay, I understand. There, Joan's saying hi to all y'all. Okay. It's a hotter than hot. Yes, it is. Love the cup. She talking about my cup. Okay, honey. Chelsea's on the sweet tea, but she's thinking about that mommy juice. Woohoo, Joyce! Woohoo, you did it. Yeah, what Joan said. Here you go. Here you go. Ready? That. That's funny. Okay. I had the new documents, you guys. I am going to be pulling up the new documents. But here's what I want to say. I do have a previous video where we covered this on the channel. And that is in my playlist. And my playlist is down below. And it has graphics. It has sound bites. We went to the area. We looked at the bridge. We looked at all of that stuff. So if you guys would like to go back and watch that, it was really great. And there are credits there to all of the people that I talked about and probably will talk about here tonight also. But we're not doing that here tonight. But what I'm going to do, I am going to cover some of the very same information that I covered in that first one, because I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we need to do a little bit of a recap and to talk about what we're going to talk about, and then we'll go into the new documents. And that's just how I'm going to be rolling with it tonight. I hope that's okay with you guys. So right now, if you need to go and grab a drink, grab your project, go pee, unpack the car, get mommy juice, put the dogs away, whatever it takes. Go ahead and get on ready. She's putting a border on the sunflower blanket. Yay. Oh, I bet it feels good to be getting that done. I bet it does. That's awesome. That is awesome. Also, I restarted it, you guys. So let me tell you, I know my daughter Carrie is on. I don't know if she's going to hear this, but I decided that I was going to name this scarf. Okay, don't rattle. So let me show you. I'm going to show you my hands, and then I will be showing you those documents too on the same screen. So here are my hands first. Hey, Shad. Woohoo! Oh, Lori, you're going to win. You're going to win. Go, Lori, go. Go, Lori, go. I don't know what you're going to win yet, but you're going to win. You got me beat. That is for sure. Be sure and post it, and I'll go in there and go, woohoo, on the bottom. Glad you're here, Shad. You know, a lot of people are. When it starts to get hot, they start working on the fall because they know it's right behind it. It is right behind it. So here's what I did. And I've got my first marker in. I took it completely off and I changed the numbers because I didn't feel like it was going to be more like a scarf, and I want it to lay out and be more of a wrap. Okay. And here's what I'm calling it. I'm going to call it the Paramore 64 because I wanted it to rhyme. And that's one of Carrie's favorite. It's one of her favorite bands is Paramore. Y'all heard of Paramore? Oh, cool. Okay, I will go and check. So we're going to call this the Paramore 64 because I went back and instead of 48, I went with 64 stitches. Now this is the parallelogram that I'm doing in garter stitch, okay? So all I did was do a 64 stitch long tail cast on. And then I knit across. And then I turned it and I marked the front. And now I'm going across to the other end. And when I get to the other end, I'm going to put my increase thing on there because that's the end I'm going to increase on. And when I come back, then I will do my decrease. And that's how it will be a parallelogram, and it'll go like that. Hey, Danny Benani. So that is what I'm doing. When I get over here, I will do my increase. Because row 1 you increase and row 2 you decrease. She likes it. Grandma Wanda, good to see you. Glad you're here. Diddy's had like 3 new titles. I don't know what that's all about. She's still Denny though. It slides. Oh, Annie's here. She's sliding in sideways. Yep. Oh, you did hear me. Okay, good. And if y'all don't remember what I'm using, this is the James C. Brett color C45. It is the Marble Chunky. See that? Marble Chunky. I also have one of these in a teal, but and I have two of them also. She had things she had to do. They were all related to courts you were watching online. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, so now we're going to recap. Here we go. We are talking about the two girls in Indiana, Delphi, Indiana. Libby German, who was 14, and Abby Williams, who was 13. They were murdered near the Monon High Bridge on February the 13th of 2017. Now, Libby's sister Kelsey took the girls who had a day off from school to the hiking trails near High Bridge, and that is in the Mary Gerard Nature Reserve. There's a bunch of trails there that all the kids like to do. Hey, Donna. And the girls took the trail which led to the Monon High Bridge, which is an abandoned railroad bridge, 853 feet long and 70 feet above Deer Creek. Now, Libby's father, Derek, had gone to pick them up, and they were not at the spot where they were supposed to be for being picked up. Now, he had tried to call Libby. We find out later that he had tried to call Libby and she didn't answer. And after a few hours where the family is unable to find the girls, they call in the authorities. If you remember, the grandma went down and tried to look for them too. And then there was a search, and it included at least 300 volunteers. And they had this local and the state agencies in there. Now, we do know that the girls were dropped off at around 1:38 to 1:40. We know the girls were crossing the bridge at around 2:05 because Libby uploads a photo of the bridge to Snapchat and another of Abby at 2:07. Now, Libby's friend takes a screenshot of the Snapchat. Maybe she just thought it was a cool picture or whatever. So she takes a Snapchat of it. You know, she takes a screenshot of the Snapchat because Snapchats, sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't. It depends on the person's settings. Now, on February the 14th, Valentine's Day, there's a press conference where law enforcement announces that they have found the bodies of the two girls, and the investigation is now a murder investigation. Okay? And this is based on evidence that they found at the scene. On February 15th, 2017, the police released a photo of someone that Libby took a picture of. And that person and that picture became known as Bridge Guy. It was a picture of a man on the bridge. Later, they released an audio clip from Libby's phone where a man is heard saying, "Guys, down the hill." Police tell us that there is more on the video, but they won't release it. There are two different sketches released of a man who law enforcement is calling Bridge Guy. April of 2019, police released the newest sketch and a video clip, And it's the man taking a step on the bridge, and Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter, says, "We know who you are. We know that you are hiding in plain sight, and we will catch you." Hi, Bree. Okay, Annie. So what else did we know at that time? Now, I'm not talking about what we know now. We know a lot more now that has been released, okay? And you guys, whatever I say, whatever I'm talking about here are things that I have seen, that I have read. I'm not calling them all facts. I don't know all the facts. I'm just giving to you my observations and the things that I have collected and seen over the last 2 or 3 years of looking at news stuff and things. Okay, Bree, you too. Now we know that Libby's phone pinged at around 2:30 a.m. on the 14th near the bridge. Libby's black Nike, her Nike shoe, was found approximately a quarter mile from the bridge. Crime scene area was contaminated by the search. So everybody was tramping around out there looking for them, and that whole area it was just really hard because there was a whole lot of people out there. Hello, Sandy. Okay. We know that there were photos and video of Bridge Guy on Libby's phone. We know law enforcement states that they have DNA at the crime scene. There was a man who saw someone who looked like Bridge Guy on the bridge. The bodies and Abby's shoe and things were found on private property, which would belong to a man named Ron Logan. We know that law enforcement was asking for information about a car that was parked in front of the Hoosier hardware store, possibly a 2016 Ford Focus. So then we start to get some updates that begin to mention a man named Keegan Klein. We find out that Keegan Klein spoke to Libby on Snapchat using a profile from a male model named Anthony Schatz. Now, the person whose account that he was using is a real person, and he's a real male model. But Keegan Klein was using it to catfish Libby. He was portraying to be Anthony Schatz and wanting to meet her. And we find out that he did this on the day that they went missing. Now, because Keegan Klein is facing trial for his charges related to child pornography, law enforcement has obtained evidence that they say points to more than one person involved in the murder of Libby and Abby. Now, they have said this more than once, you guys. We also learned that the police searched the residence of Keegan Klein, who lived with his father at that time. He lived in other places. We found that out too. But at that time, he did live with his father, and they were looking at both Keegan Klein and his father, and they were also looking at Ron Logan. Okay? Law enforcement obtained a search warrant for Ron Logan's property on more than one occasion. Of course, they looked at that property initially because the bodies were found on that property. And then after they arrested Keegan Kline, they went back and they went through Ron Logan's property again. They also looked at Keegan Kline and his father's house. They took phones. There was a whole lot of stuff that went out with all of that. Now, I saw a couple of things that said, and if you guys know, let me know in the chat. But what I saw was that Ron Logan passed away in 2020. And then I saw something that he just passed away last year, 2022. And I'm not sure which. But he gave a bogus alibi for where he was when Abby and Libby had gone missing. He had someone help him with his alibi, and come to find out that it was a lie. And police are now saying that Logan's phone showed to have been close to where Abby and Libby were found on the day that they went missing. So I do not believe that they have totally ruled Ron Logan out. However, they can't exactly press charges on him. According to law enforcement, the scene where the girls were found is not where they were killed. They lost a lot of blood, and they were carried to the location where they were found. And also, the bodies were staged in that location. Items of their clothing were missing, such as Libby's underwear and a sock, which have not been found. So now we're going to move forward to Richard Allen. Richard Allen was arrested in October of 2022. And that is who we're going to talk about. That is who is going to be going on trial. Congratulations, Annie. That's amazing. Congratulations. Well, that will do it. And there's not a darn thing wrong with that, because that is not strenuous. I don't know what PCOS is, though. What is PCOS? Undiagnosed PCOS. Just type that in there, because I don't really know what that is. Okay, so Richard Allen, the probable cause affidavit for the arrest says that on the video Libby took on her phone, the bridge guy is seen following behind the girls, and one of them mentions the word gun right before the infamous words "guys down the hill" are spoken by bridge guy. And I just want to do a quick little shout out to Stephen Keogh, because when that video was first being aired, guys was not being said. And I remember watching him and him saying, I listened to this with earbuds and stuff. And he said, he's saying guys down the hill. And now that's what everybody is saying, guys down the hill. Just what, Stephen's working on his new book, but I just wanted to say he was the first one I heard say that. Probably other people did too. I'm sure he wasn't the first person, but Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. They do type fast, don't they? The affidavit, which was partially released in November of last year, stated that Richard Allen was tied to the murders by a bullet found at the crime scene. 3 unnamed juvenile witnesses say they saw someone who matched Bridge Guy's description in the area on the day the girls were killed. When Mr. Allen was interviewed in 2017, He admitted to being in the area of the Monon High Bridge on the day that the girls were missing, on the day they were killed. But he was never in the area where the bullet was found and had nothing to do with the girls' murders. The probable cause affidavit states that a .40 caliber bullet was found between the bodies of Abby and Libby. On October 13th, a search warrant was executed at the home of Richard Allen. Law enforcement found knives, firearms, including a Sig Sauer model P226 pistol. After this weapon was analyzed, it was determined that the bullet found between Abby and Libby had been cycled through Mr. Allen's gun. Now, y'all remember when we were talking about the Wagners, that the law enforcement found the bullets at the scenes, and the bullets that were at the Wagners matched the bullets that had been at the scene, that they had been cycled through the Wagners' guns. A separate witness says that they saw a man who wore the clothing that the bridge guy was wearing in the video, that he was muddy and bloody and looked like he had been in a fight. Okay. Now, I know you guys have been seeing it everywhere, and they're saying that Richard Allen has confessed several times to the murders. And from what I understand from reading these documents, because I read them partially, I have not completely read all of the documents, and I'm probably not going to. But I went through them, and I wrote down what I thought each one kind of was that I thought we might want to look at. If you want to see all of them, I will try to put a link to that down below after this goes live. I forgot to do that. Sorry. But there is a place where you can go and find them. But I found them and I downloaded them, and we can go through them. I just want to go through some highlights of them. I don't want to go through all of them. And there is one of them that I think it's the probable cause or something that I saw, and I saw other people had it and were going over it, and I have not read it. I wanted to read it here with you guys tonight. So, oh yeah. Which link? Which link, Chels? Seeing if I missed anything else. Making sure I didn't. If you want to put a link to the documents, you're more than welcome, Chelsea. It's the one that is in the group. Absolutely, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, you're more than welcome to put it in here. Yep, I really do feel for you guys, because I know that you are dealing with all this nasty air. And those of you in Canada, I feel for you too, because I know you guys have been dealing with it for a while now. It's got to be awful. from the smoke, from the fires. Okay. Are you guys ready to see the documents? Oh yeah, the humidity makes it terrible. Okay, here we go. Let me put these on the screen. Okay, this first document is a picture of Richard Allen with his dog. Wondering if I can make this bigger. How do I make it bigger? Here? No. I'm looking, guys. Hold on. I forget where it's at. I don't see it anywhere. Do y'all know? Oh, hey. Whoop, whoop. Push all the buttons. So I don't know why they included this picture. I've heard some people say that it might be because of this cap. I've heard other people say, and I don't know whether this is true, that they might have had some DNA at the scene that matched a dog, that maybe that this one, and maybe it is one of the more up-to-date pictures of him. That is a total possibility as well. But that is an exhibit. This is what he looks like now. And they are saying that he was not eating and all of that kind of stuff. And from what I understand from the court documents, that has changed. He is now eating. Right, let me look at my notes. I'm actually going to skip forward, you guys, quite a ways. Okay. This is the count. These are the counts that he is being charged with. So this says his date of birth is 9972. His case number. Anybody wants to look this stuff up in the court records? Nicholas McClellan, being first duly sworn upon oath, says on or about February the 13th, 2017, in the county of Carroll, the state of Indiana, Richard M. Allen did kill another human being, to wit, victim 1, while committing or attempting to kidnapping of victim 1. So he's not only charged with 2 counts of murder, he is also charged with 2 counts of kidnapping, all of which is contrary to the form of statute in such case made provided. Peace and dignity, state of Indiana. Okay. And this was filed October of 2022. And his wife was a witness. See that right there? His wife, Kathy Allen, is a witness to this. She was there. And this is for victim 2. Obviously, they're not putting the girls' names in here, more than likely because they are underage. And I don't know why that this is in here twice. I don't understand these documents. All I know is this is maybe when it was filed. Like one was, see, like this was the original, and then this here was when it got filed, because this here was filed October 28th. And so that's my guess on that. Okay, now we're going to go to, okay, I'm going to flip through, you guys. Just a minute. We're going to come back later. Let me put this in here like I did earlier. Okay. Motion for leave of court to subpoena third-party records. Now, these are asking for employment stuff and other things, given that they have a reason to ask for them, and so that has to be filed in court. Well, I think it's double because there's two. But I think they're not putting their names because they're too young. I don't know. So now comes the state of Indiana by Nicholas McClelland, prosecuting attorney for the 74th District Circuit, and moves this court for order for Westville Correctional Facility to produce to Carroll County mental health records for Richard Allen associated with his stay as an inmate at that facility from November 3rd of 2022 until present, because you remember he was transferred. And that's part of some of these documents that are in here. While working the Delphi investigation, Carroll County Sheriff's Department Detective Tony Liggett developed information that Richard Allen was involved in the murders of Victim 1 and Victim 2. The investigation shows the following. And this, you guys, is what I have not read yet. I have not read this yet. So here we go. Going to read it now. That on February 14th of 2017, Victim 1 and Victim 2 were found deceased in the woods approximately 0.2 miles northeast of the Monon High Bridge in Carroll County. Their bodies were located on the north side of the Deer Creek. At the time, the Monon High Bridge Trail was an approximately 1 mile gravel trail terminating at the Monon High Bridge. The Monon High Bridge is an abandoned railroad trestle approximately 0.25 miles long, spanning the Deer Creek and Deer Creek Valley on the southeast end of the trail. Approximately 0.7 miles northwest on the trail from the northwestern edge of the Monon High Bridge is the Freedom Bridge, which is a pedestrian bridge spanning State Road 25, also known as County Road 300 North. The trail terminates just west of the former railroad overpass. The majority of the trail is in a wooded area with a steep embankment on the south side of the trail. The entirety of the trail and the location of the girls' bodies were and are located in Carroll County, Indiana. Through interviews, reviews of electronic records, and review of video at the Hoosier Harvest Store, investigators believe Victim 1 and Victim 2 were dropped off across from the Mears Farm at 1:49 p.m. on February 13, 2017 by Kelsey German. The Mears Farm is located on the north side of County Road 300 North near an entrance to the trails. A video from Victim 2's phone shows that at 2:13 p.m., Victim 1 and Victim 2 encountered a male subject on the southeast portion of the Monon High Bridge. The male ordered the guys, down the hill. No witnesses saw them after this time. No outgoing communications were found on Victim 2's phone after this time. Their bodies were discovered on February 14, 2017. The video recovered from Victim 2's phone shows Victim 1 walking southeast on the Monon High Bridge, while a male subject wearing a dark jacket and jeans walked behind her. As the male subject approaches Victim 1 and Victim 2, one of the victims mentions gun. Near the end of the video, a male is seen and heard telling the guys, down the hill. The girls then begin to proceed down the hill and the video ends. A still photograph taken from the video and the guys down the hill audio was subsequently released to the public to assist investigators in identifying the male. Victim 1 and Victim 2's deaths were ruled as homicides. Clothes were found in the Deer Creek belonging to Victim 1 and Victim 2, south of where their bodies were located. There was also a .40 caliber unspent round less than 2 feet away from Victim 2's body, between Victim 1 and Victim 2's bodies. The round was unspent and had extraction marks on it. Interviews were conducted with 3 juveniles, RV, BW, and AS. They advised they were on the Monon High Bridge Trail on February the 13th, 2017. They advised they were walking on the trail toward Freedom Bridge to go home when they encountered a male walking from Freedom Bridge toward the Monon High Bridge. AS described the male as kind of creepy and advised he was wearing like blue jeans, a really light blue jacket, and his hair was gray, maybe a little brown, and he did not really show his face. She advised the jacket was a duck canvas type jacket. RV advised she said hi to the male, but he just glared at them. She recalled him being in all black and had something covering his mouth. She described him as not very tall, with a bigger build. She said he was not bigger than 5'10". RV advised he was wearing a black hoodie, black jeans, and black boots. She stated his hands in his pockets. BW showed investigators photographs she took on her phone while she was on the trail that day. The photographs included a photo of the Monon High Bridge taken at 12:43 p.m. and another one at 1:26 p.m. of the bench east of the Freedom Bridge. BW advised after she took the photo of the bench, they started walking back toward Freedom Bridge. She advised that was when they encountered the man who matched the description of the photograph taken from Victim 2's video. 1:26. BW described the man she encountered on the trail was wearing a blue and black windbreaker jacket. She advised the jacket had a collar and he had his hood up from the clothing underneath his jacket. She advised he was wearing baggy jeans and was taller than her. She advised her head came up to approximately his shoulder. She advised RV said hi to the man and that he said nothing back. She stated he was walking with a purpose, like he knew where he was going. She stated he had his hands in his pockets and kept his head down. She advised she did not get a look at his face, but believed him to be a white male. The girls advised after encountering the male, they continued their walk across Freedom Bridge and the old railroad bridge over Old State Road 25. Investigators spoke with Betsy Blair, who advised she was on the trails on February the 13th, 2017. Video from the Hoosier Harvest store captured Betsy's vehicle traveling eastbound at 1:46 p.m. toward the entrance from the Mears farm. Betsy advised she saw 4 juvenile females walking on the bridge over Old State Road 25 as she was driving underneath on her way to park. Betsy advised there were no other cars parked across from the Mears farm when she parked. She advised she walked to the Monon High Bridge and observed a male matching the one from victim two's video. She described the male she saw as a white male wearing blue jeans and a blue jean jacket. She advised he was standing on the first platform of the Monon High Bridge, approximately 50 feet from her. She advised she turned around at the bridge and continued her walk. Approximately halfway between the bridge and the parking area across from Mears Farm, she passed 2 girls walking toward Monon High Bridge. She believed the girls were victim 1 and victim 2. Oh, that gives me chills. Video from the Hoosier Harvest store shows at 1:49 p.m. a white car matching Kelsey German's vehicle traveling away from the entrance across from the Mears farm. Betsy advised she finished her walk and saw no other adults other than the male on the bridge. Her vehicle is seen on Hoosier Harvest store video at 2:14 p.m. leaving westbound from the trails. Betsy advised when she was leaving, she noted a vehicle was parked in an odd manner at the old Child Protective Services building. Okay, that's creepy too. She said it was not odd for vehicles to be parked there, but she noticed it was odd because of the manner it was parked, like backed in near the building. Investigators received a tip from Terry Wilson, in which he stated he was on his way to Delphi on State Road 25 around 2:10 on February the 13th of 2017. He observed a purple PT Cruiser, or a small SUV-type vehicle, parked on the south side of the old CPS building. He stated it appeared as though it was backed in as to conceal the license plate of the vehicle. Betsy and Terry both drew diagrams of where they saw the vehicle parked, and their diagrams generally matched as to the area the vehicle was parked and the manner in which it was parked. Wesley McWhirter advised he remembered seeing a smaller dark-colored car parked at the old CPS building. He described it as possibly being a smart car. McWhirter's vehicle is seen leaving at 2:28 p.m. on the Hoosier Harvest store video. I need to take a drink. Oh, Denny, you do, huh? You think of us when these updates and things start coming in. Maybe it was only if they were parent or guardian. Could be. Certainly could be. Maybe. I don't know. Interesting. Hadn't thought about that either, Chels. Oh, that's okay. Thank you. No, I don't see the hearts when they come through. When you guys are doing that, I don't see it in StreamYard. It doesn't come through on StreamYard, but I thank you so very much for it. Thank you so much. Investigators spoke with Sarah Carbow, who stated that she was traveling east on 300 North on February the 13th of 2022 and observed a male subject walking west on the north side of 300 North, away from the Monon High Bridge. Sarah advised that the male subject was wearing a blue-colored jacket and blue jeans and was muddy and bloody. She further stated that it appeared he had gotten into a fight. Investigators were able to determine from watching the video from the Hoosier Harvest store that Sarah Carbo was traveling on County Road 300 North at approximately 3:57. I think that's got to be a typo. It says 2022, but I think that's a typo, you guys. Through interviews, electronic data, photographs, and video from the Hoosier Harvest store, investigators determined that there were other people on the trail that day after 2:13 p.m. Those people were interviewed, and none of those individuals encountered the male subject referenced above, witnessed by the juvenile girls, Betsy Blair and Sarah Carbaugh. Further, none of those individuals witnessed victim 1 and victim 2. Investigators reviewing prior tips encountered a tip narrative from an officer who interviewed Richard M. Allen in 2017. That narrative stated the following. Mr. Allen was on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. I translated that for you guys because it's 13:30 and 15:30 in case you wanted to know. He parked at the old Farm Bureau building and walked to the new Freedom Bridge. While at the Freedom Bridge, he saw 3 females. He noted that one was taller and had brown or black hair. He did not remember descriptions, nor did he speak with them. He walked from the Freedom Bridge to the High Bridge. He did not see anybody, although he stated he was watching a stock ticker on his phone as he walked. This is Richard Allen, you guys. He stated there were vehicles parked at the High Bridge trailhead, however, did not pay attention to them. He did not take any photos or videos. His cell phone did not list an IMEI, but did have the following bunch of numbers. Potential follow-up information: who were the 3 girls walking in the area of Freedom Bridge. Investigators believe Mr. Allen was referring to the former Child Protective Services building, as there was not a Farm Bureau building in the area, nor had there been. Investigators believe the females he saw included RV, BW, and AS due to the time they were leaving the trail, the time he reported getting to the trail, and the descriptions the 3 females gave. Good night, Sandy. Sleep well, hun. Investigators discovered Richard Allen owned 2 vehicles in 2017, a 2016 black Ford Focus and a 2006 gray Ford 500. Investigators observed a vehicle that resembled Allen's 2016 Ford Focus on the Hoosier Harvest store video at 1:27 p.m., traveling westbound on CR 300 North in front of the Hoosier Harvest store, which coincided with his statement that he arrived around 1:30 p.m. on the trails. Investigators note witnesses described the vehicle parked at the former Child Protective Service building as a PT Cruiser, small SUV, or smart car. Investigators believe those descriptions are similar in nature to a 2016 Ford Focus. On October 13th, 2022, Richard Allen was interviewed again by investigators. Now, they brought he and his wife in, from what I understand. Okay? Hello, Grandma, if I didn't say hello. Thank you to everyone who's here. And if you guys are watching and lurking, I'm saying hi to you too. And thank you so very much for being here. So he advised he was on the trails on February 13th. He stated he saw juvenile girls on the trails east of Freedom Bridge and that he went onto the Monon High Bridge. Richard Allen further stated he went out onto the Monon High Bridge to watch the fish. Later in his statement, he said he walked out to the first platform on the bridge. He stated he then walked back, sat on a bench on the trail, and then left. He stated he parked his car on the side of an old building. He told investigators that he was wearing blue jeans and a blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hood. He advised he may have been wearing some type of head covering as well. He further claimed he saw no one else except for the juvenile girls he saw east of the Freedom Bridge. He told investigators that he owns firearms and they are at his home. Richard M. Allen's wife, Kathy Allen, also spoke to investigators, and she confirmed that Richard did have guns and knives at the residence. She also stated that Richard still owns a blue Carhartt jacket. On October 13th of 2022, investigators executed a search warrant of Richard Allen's residence at 1967 North Whitman Drive, Delphi, Carroll County, Indiana. Among other items, officers located jackets, boots, knives, firearms, including a Sig Sauer model P226 .40 caliber pistol with serial number between October 14th of 2022 and October 19th of 2022, the Indiana State Police Laboratory performed an analysis on Allen's Sig Sauer model P226. The laboratory performed a physical examination and classification of the firearm, function test, barrel, and overall length measurement, test firing, ammunition component characterization, microscopic comparison, and NIBIN, which I don't even know what that is. The laboratory determined the unspent round located within 2 feet of victim 2's body had been cycled through Richard M. Allen's Sig Sauer model P226. The laboratory remarked, an identification opinion is reached when the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics and a sufficient agreement of individual marks. I hope you guys understand what that means about cycling it through. I just wanted to clarify that real quickly, that it means that the bullet that was found had at one point had been inside of Richard Allen's gun and had gone through the barrel. It was not shot. Okay, it was not clicked and shot. It was not a spent bullet. It was an unspent bullet that probably had been loaded and then unloaded. So it was didn't go all the way through the end of the barrel. It was loaded into the gun and then unloaded. And that's what they mean by cycled through. That's my understanding anyway. They tested the gun and compared the bullets that cycled through to the one found at the scene. Yes. Yes. They also shot the gun, but the bullet that went through did not actually that they found had not actually been shot by the gun. It had just been in and cycled through. So like if you think about like the Old West, even be a good, I'm just using this as an example. And like you have the barrel and there's like all these little bullets are in here, right? And they turn it and then it's been in there and then they pop that bullet out. That leaves marks on there. It leaves marks on the bullet. Correct. The firing pin did not hit it. Correct. National Integrated Ballistics Information Networks. Thank you, Annie. Because I probably heard that on in other trials, but for some reason it did not stick in my brain as to what it was. Okay, sufficient agreement is related to the significant duplication of random striated impressed marks. as evidenced by the correspondence of a pattern or combination of patterns of surface contours. The interpretation of identification is subjective in nature and based on relevant scientific research and the reporting examiner's training and experience. Now, I know that they are trying to throw that out, and they're trying to claim that the person who examined all of this was not qualified. That's a formality. They always do that. They wouldn't be doing their job if they didn't, in order to protect him. So, in order to represent him. Richard Allen. Investigators then ran the firearm and found that the firearm was purchased by Richard Allen in 2001. Richard Allen voluntarily came to the Indiana State Police post on October 26 of 2022. He spoke with investigators and stated that he never allowed anyone to use or borrow the Sig Sauer Model P226 firearm. When asked about the unspent bullet, he did not have an explanation of why the bullet was found between the bodies of victim 1 and victim 2. He again admitted that he was on the trail but denied knowing victim 1 or victim 2 and denied any involvement in their murders. Carroll County Sheriff's Department Detective Tony Liggett has been part of the investigation since it started in 2017. He has had an opportunity to review and examine evidence gathered in this investigation. Detective Liggett, along with other investigators, believe the evidence gathered shows that Richard Allen is the male subject seen on the video from victim 2's phone, who forced the victims down the hill. Further, that the victims were forced down the hill by Richard Allen and led to the location where they were murdered. Through the statements and photographs of the juvenile females and the statement of Betsy Blair, RV, BW, and AS were at the southeast edge of the trail at 12:43 p.m., east of Freedom Bridge at 1:26 p.m., and walked across the former railroad overpass over State Road 25 after 1:26 p.m. and before 1:46 p.m. They walked the entirety of the trail and observed only one person, an adult male. Betsy Blair's vehicle seen on Hoosier Harvest Store video at 1:46 p.m. and leaving at 2:14 p.m., and she stated she only saw one adult male. RV, BW, AS, and Betsy Blair described the male in similar manners, wearing similar clothing, leading investigators to believe all four saw the same male individual. Investigators believe the male observed by Betsy Blair, RV, BW, and AS is the same male depicted in the video from victim 2's phone due to the descriptions of the male by the four females matching the male in the video. Furthermore, victim 2's video was taken at 2:13 p.m., and Betsy Blair saw only one male while she was on the trail from 1:46 to 2:14. Investigators believed Richard Allen was the male seen by Betsy Blair, RV, BW, and AS, and the male seen in victim 2's video. Richard Allen told investigators he was on the trail from 1:30 to 3:30. Video from Hoosier Harvest Store shows a vehicle that matches the description of Richard Allen's vehicle passing at 1:27 p.m. toward the former CPS building. The clothing he told investigators he was wearing matched the clothing of the male in victim 2's video and the clothing descriptions provided by Betsy Blair, RV, BW, and AS. A vehicle matching the description of his 2016 Ford Focus is seen at or around 2:10 p.m., 2:14 p.m., and 2:28 p.m. at the former CPS building. Through his own admissions, Richard Allen walked the trails and eventually hiked to the Monon High Bridge and walked out onto the Monon High Bridge. A male subject matching Richard Allen's description was not seen on the trail after 2:13. Investigators identified other individuals on the trails between 2:30 and 4:11. None of those individuals saw a male subject matching the description of Richard Allen. Furthermore, Richard Allen stated that he only saw 3 girls on the trail, who investigators believe was RV, BW, and AS. Investigators believe Richard Allen was not seen on the trail after 2:13 p.m. because he was in the woods with victim 1 and victim 2. An unspent 40 caliber round between the bodies of victim 1 and 2 was forensically determined to have been cycled through Richard Allen's gun. The gun was found at Richard Allen's residence, and he admitted to owning it. Investigators were able to determine that he had owned it since 2011. Richard Allen stated he had not been on the property where the unspent... Okay. Okay, he stated he had not been on the property where the unspent round was found, that he did not know the property owner, and that he had no explanation as to why a round cycled through his firearm would be at that location. Furthermore, he stated that he never allowed anyone to use or borrow the gun. Investigators believe that after the victims were murdered, Richard Allen returned to his vehicle by walking down CR 300 North. Investigators believe he was seen by Sarah Carbaugh walking back to his vehicle on CR 300 North with clothes that were muddy and bloody. Hey, Patricia. Tony Liggett, along with the investigators, believe the statements made by the witnesses because the statements corroborate the timeline of the death of the two victims, as well as coincide with the admissions made by Richard Allen. Furthermore, the accounts relayed by Betsy Blair, RVBWAS, are similar in nature, with timestamps on photographs taken by BW correspond to the times the juvenile female said that they were on the trail and saw the male individual. Investigators believe Richard M. Allen committed this kidnapping, which resulted in the killing of victim 1 and victim 2. From their prior conclusions, investigators believe Richard Allen was the male depicted in victim 2's video, saying "guys down the hill." They believe Richard Allen was carrying his gun on that day to the cycled round matching that firearm located within feet of the victim 2's body. They further believe he was carrying the gun from the audio for victim 2's video, in which investigators believe they hear the sound of a gun being cycled and one of the victims mentioning a gun. So they think they heard him cycle that gun. Interesting. They thought they heard him cycle that gun in the video right before one of the girls says gun. So they not only saw it, they heard it. Investigators believe after that time, victim 1 and victim 2 were removed from the bridge by Richard to where their murders occurred. Charges were filed against Richard M. Allen on October 28, 2022 for 2 counts of murder. Once Richard M. Allen was taken into custody, he was moved to Westville Correctional Facility, which is part of the Indiana Department of Corrections for safekeeping. He has been in said facility since November of 22. Now this next part they're talking about, we're almost done, guys. This next part, they're talking about his treatment, because there was some question about his treatment. I haven't even got to that yet. We haven't got to those documents yet. When Mr. Allen was entered the facility, he was placed in the segregation unit for his protection. In the segregation unit, his cell is equipped with a video recorder, which records his activities within the cell. There are also logs indicating when Richard Allen leaves the cell and for what purposes. He's also being seen by medical providers and mental health specialists to evaluate his physical condition and monitor his mental health. Richard Allen has the ability to use a tablet in his cell to send text messages, make phone calls, and listen to music, which, by the way, he broke, you guys. He broke the tablet. He broke that tablet after his phone call, the last phone call when he was talking to his wife. And in that phone call, he said that he killed the girls. The phone call abruptly ended, and shortly after that, he broke the tablet. And it is believed that they haven't spoken, but I'm not sure. That's not a fact that I have. He broke it on purpose, yes. Upon Richard Allen's arrival to the facility, he was placed on suicide watch because of certain statements that he made about harming himself. Throughout his stay, his mental health improved to the point that he was taken off of suicide watch. He was also participating in rec time and beginning to exercise. The facility reports that he was doing well and that they had no issues or concerns. His day-to-day demeanor was that he was quiet, read a lot of books, did crossword puzzles, and exercised daily. On April 3rd of 2003, Richard Allen made a phone call to his wife, Kathy Allen. In that phone call, Richard Allen admits several times that he killed Abby and Libby. Investigators had the phone call transcribed, and the transcription confirms that Richard Allen admits that he committed the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. He admits several times within the phone call that he committed the offenses as charged. His wife, Kathy Allen, ends the phone call abruptly. Soon after, attorneys for Richard Allen filed an emergency motion to modify safekeeping order. In that motion, the defense states that Richard Allen's mental state has declined because Westville Correctional Facility is unfit and that he should be moved. Defense also makes allegation that his mental health has declined to the point where Richard Allen has been deprived of his constitutional right to assist in his defense of this case. Further, defense alleges that his mental capacity has declined because of his incarceration at Westville Correctional Facility. Defense has also challenged that his treatment is unconstitutional. Soon after, investigators were made aware of the warden of Westville Correctional Facility that Richard Allen began to act strangely. Hi, Linda. Richard Allen was wetting down paperwork he had gotten from his attorneys and eating it. He was refusing to eat and refusing to sleep. He would go days on end refusing to sleep. He further broke the tablet that he used for text messages and phone calls. He went from making up to 2 phone calls a day as of April 3rd, 2023, to not making any phone calls at all. To date, Mr. Richard Allen has not made a phone call since April 3rd. On April 14th, Richard Allen was evaluated by 2 psychiatrists and 1 psychologist to discuss his turn in behavior and whether or not there was a need for involuntary medication. Okay, Chelsea. Hi, Laura. So I guess they can, involuntary meaning if they think that he is bad enough, they can actually force him to take medications. That he did not need to be moved to another facility. Since that meeting, Richard Allen has begun to eat again and has begun to sleep. His behavior has begun to return to what it was prior to making the admission on April 3rd. Investigators believe the information that Westville Correctional Facility has gathered since Richard Allen was placed in that facility is important to the investigation. Investigators believe there is video evidence that will include his admissions plus his prior behavior prior to the admission and directly after. Investigators also believe logs kept of his daily routines are important to determine when he was in his cell and when he was removed and the reasons he was removed. Further, any records of physical exams and/or mental exams will be important to determine the state of his mental and physical health. This information is needed to refute the allegations made in defense's emergency motion to modify safekeeping order. The evidence is also necessary to refute the allegations of diminished mental capacity and/or possible defenses. It may also be important as the state introduces additional evidence gathered, including admissions made by Richard Allen himself. Investigators believe all the information is important in the continued investigation for murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. For these reasons, the state is requesting that the employment records for Richard Allen, da 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 da. So they're asking about all of the observations made by them at the prison too. All of that. They're asking for all of that to be handed over. Oh, y'all, that's a lot of reading. But that was quite interesting because I had not seen that yet. And I realize that it sounds like that it was repeated, that information was repeated. But the way that it was written was showing where they gathered the information and then the conclusions that they made based on what they gathered. And that's why it was repeated. How are you, Laura? Good to see you. Good to see you, Linda. Yeah, she has really, I really actually feel bad for her. You know, she's trying to do her best to stand by him because he has not been proven guilty yet. But I don't think they've talked since he admitted it. Yeah, I don't think so. I am good. I did not take my nose spray tonight. And I think it's time for you know what. If you guys will, I need to take a quick break. You guys talk about what we have just learned here. There are a few other things if you guys want to stick around. There's a few other things here that I could show you, the official documents and stuff, but I will be right back, okay? Here. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for being patient. Hey, Adele. Okay. Everything is monitored except calls and text. I think all calls and text are monitored. That tablet is probably. I don't know. That I can't answer, Joan. Good to see you, hun. Oh, thank you, Joyce. However, they were complaining about the fact that he was being watched when his lawyers, that he wasn't getting proper access to his lawyers, and that he was being watched when his lawyers were there, and that they're not supposed to do, from what I understand. Yes, attorneys' calls should not be. Pretty sure that's privileged, and I think that they were doing that, and that has stopped. So once they had an injunction done on that, and that stopped. That's in here. Who knows? I think it was because when his wife hung up, he decided it wasn't worth using it anymore. That's what I think. But I can't prove that. I am thankfully not in his head. Okay, now I'm going to run through what I saw when I skimmed these. This one appears to be state's objection to defendant's motion for order of continuing disclosure of defendant's mental health records. So this is the state's objection to the defendant's motion for order on continuing disclosure of defendant's mental health records. I believe this was on the competency, but I'm not sure. The defendant filed a motion for order on continuing disclosure of defendant's mental health records, asking this court for an order to the Indiana Department of Corrections and Carroll County Sheriff's Department to release Richard Allen's mental health records. The state filed a motion for leave of the court to file a third-party subpoena. Ah, okay. So this is the one where the state's objection because Richard Allen's defense didn't want him to have it. Because the defense filed a motion to quash that subpoena. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So that's what that one is. And then $171, state's objection to defendant's motion to suppress. And then we'll go back through and I'll show you everything that was in here. This next one was the search warrant. And I really wanted to see what this search warrant said. Okay. Okay, this was on, what's it say? To law enforcement, search of the residence located at you're hereby authorized and ordered in the name of the state of Indiana with the necessary and proper assistance to enter into or upon the property, including the residence, outbuildings, including a wooden shed on the property and a 2016 black Ford Focus SE vehicle located at 1967 Northern Whitman Drive. Said property being the residence of Richard Allen, and a ranch-style house, brick two-car garage. There's a photo. I don't know if we're going to see the photo. The property contains a wooden shed, and there's also a black Ford Focus SE located on the property. Law enforcement is ordered to search for any and all information and or evidence of the crime of murder in violation of search of handguns, 40 caliber ammunition, knives, blue sweatshirt jackets, black sweatshirt jackets, clothing, electronic devices, and a cell phone with this number. Any other cell phones and any other electronic devices. Okay. 13th day of October. Yes, and we're also hearing somewhere somebody has said, because they had not actually told us that the manner of their death, but somewhere in this, and I haven't exactly found it, okay, that the girls were killed with something sharp. Okay, they weren't shot, they were killed with something sharp. That is what we learned somewhere in here. I have not located it yet, okay? But that's where something that has been reported other places. Okay. And this is that what I read to you is the affidavit, and this affidavit gets attached to the warrant because it's the probable cause. Okay. Here is what they took. These are the items that were submitted to property and record. This is their property and record receipt. These are the things that were submitted that they took from the property. Okay. Oh, good, Patricia. I hope it calms things down out there. Sealed cardboard containing one black Sig Sauer. So there's the gun, the 40 caliber gun, and there's the serial number. A sealed bag containing a 40 caliber cartridge. A bag containing a 40 caliber cartridge found inside the gun. A bag containing 2 magazines, one filled with 9 40 caliber cartridges and one with 8 40 caliber cartridges. A sealed bag containing a black handgun case containing 1 trigger lock and 2 keys. Sealed paper bag containing a paper wrapped wooden weave box containing 2 audio Vox device. One, y'all, they took a lot of phones. These people kept all the phones they ever owned. 2 audio Vox device, 1 Motorola flip phone, 1 silver Motorola flip phone, 4 car chargers, 3 wall outlets, a sealed plastic bag containing Lexar compact flash gig memory card. And it makes me wonder on that one. The memory cards make me wonder a little bit about the whole kidnapping and yada thing and other people thing, right? Description of the next items: the sealed paper bag with a dirty Thorogood boot, size 7.5 in men's. A bag containing dirty black boots, size 6.5. An envelope containing a silver double-edged knife in a silver metal sheath. An envelope containing brown, gold, and silver folding knife. I'm hearing thunder, I think. Am I hearing thunder? Yep. 30 minutes. Envelope containing a black sheath and brown, gold, and silver folding knife. Another black sheath and another black handled silver bladed imperial knife. Lots of knives, guys. I see you, Sharon, on that small feet thing. Sealed envelope with one black sheath containing one foldable knife. You know what they say about guys with small feet. Anyway, one foldable knife with red gold handle, uh, sheath containing two Ozark trail knives, envelope, a knife with a wood ivory handle. He had quite a collection. He liked knives, y'all. Yep, storm's on the way. She brought them here. They followed you, hun. Sharon. What was it we called Mr. Harpootlian? Mr. Murdaugh's lawyer, Mr. Harpootlian? What's his name? Dick? What was it? Little Dick? Is that what I was calling him? Sealed envelope containing red-handled Crosley multi-tool and a blue multi. Had lots of those. National Guard multi-tool, black multi-tool, a sheath with a saber Bowie knife. Yeah, he's got quite a collection, though. He's got a Bowie knife. Blue jacket with red stripes, Adidas. Hey, Adidas was a thing. Sealed bag containing blue quarter zip sweatshirt, black and green fox hooded sweatshirt. Fox? Really? Sealed paper bag containing black and gray North End coat. A sealed paper bag containing one blue Carhartt coat. Sealed bag containing Timberland boot size 8. Sealed bag containing blue Arizona jeans. Arizona jeans 34.29. You're not too chunky. Bag Arizona jeans 34.29, 34. Well, we was consistent. We got Arizonas and Levi Strauss. Winter gray hat with fur-like fibers. Okay. Black and red UFC hooded sweatshirt with a full zip. Now, they say he wore a sweatshirt underneath the Carhartt coat. A bag containing one quarter zip George sweatshirt. George. Quarter zip Walmart sweatshirt. Another George. Kenneth Cole. Fruit of the Loom. Starter. Spider. Those are all sweatshirts. Blue sweatshirt with an old label. An Adidas sweatshirt. Fitted cap and a small. Wasn't it Sears that sold Adidas? Am I wrong? Wasn't it Sears? Evidently. It looks like he might have kept them. Yeah, might have kept them. Brown fitted cap with a small bill. Paper bag containing stocking cap. One NASCAR Ford racing cap. Oh, he's ruined NASCAR for everybody. Adidas stocking cap. Red, white, gray Canada stocking cap. Adidas skull cap. NFL Colts. There's a Colts fan. Bag containing Where were the Colts at? Everyone sells it now. Back in the day, it was only Sears, though, honey. Yeah, I know, right? Kind of weird. That does sound. I'm with you guys on this, like making himself look bigger. Maybe so. Carhartt stocking cap, 10 pairs of gloves, and one extra. He'd lost one in the laundry somewhere. Maybe that's when he washed all those other clothes. Paper bag containing the blue fabric strap and the blue-green fabric strap. What are we doing with straps? What kind of strap? HP laptop. There we go. HP Pavilion laptop. So that's 2 laptops. Multiple headbands. Was he a jogger? Paper bag containing cardboard phone box containing miscellaneous cellular information. A bag containing a Winchester Supreme Elite ammo box. Envelope containing Cruiser Micro flash. Here's another flash drive with Rick on the back. Rick. We go by Rick to our friends. Colts is in Indianapolis. Fireworks. What are they, happy it's Friday? So Rick also had an envelope containing a 1 terabyte of Western Digital hard drive. Terabyte hard drive. That's what mine is. Samsung phone in a floral case. I'm assuming that one was the wife's. Envelope containing a miniature katana with a red tassel. Is that a knife? A katana? Oh, early 4th of July. Yeah, probably. I think a katana is either like a knife or a sword. A sealed envelope containing a black sheath and 1 Rapala fillet knife from the garage. The best defense knife from the garage. External hard drive and cord. Small envelope containing a black iPod. .32 MB SD card and a 256 MB SD card. Yeah, I got those too, but they don't hold a lot. Sheath with an animal imprinted on the front and 1 large wooden handled knife with a rusted blade from the garage. 5 miscellaneous vehicle chargers. Well, every time you got to buy another one of them damn things. 9 miscellaneous wall outlet chargers. Miscellaneous phone accessories. I know, you got to have shit for everything. The car, this room, that room, and then they don't work. Containing an HP laptop charger, a bag containing 2 What's with the pagers? Do people still do pagers? A black one and a blue one. Motorola and LG flip phones. Y'all, I used to like mine. What was that one I had? LG Verizon smartphone. Cardboard box containing Verizon slide. Side slide. We just kept them all. Motorola Verizon. Oh, okay. You had a pager until last year for the trauma calls. Okay. Yes, I loved my Razor. It was a Motorola Razor, right? Bought it on my birthday. I tend to buy my new phones on my birthday. Okay. Well, there is that too. Yeah, a pack rat, a hoarder, a pack rat much, containing all these. I can't say anything. I think there's a couple extra phones around here. Just saying. But I don't think we got this many. It's not like everyone we ever owned. Three older cell phones, an audio box, a Nokia, and a Motorola. And I think they had kids. So maybe some of these are the kids' phones too. Nokia Twist cell phone. We can just see the progression, right? From one phone to the next, each year and each release. We can just go back through them and like see in all of them. A Nokia Twist, a Garmin Street Pilot. We got to know where we're going. Two cords and documentation, even though we've lived in this area and that we were, uh, the guy at the CVS pharmacy. Box containing plastic bag containing custom vehicle operations motorcycle cover bag. Oh, please don't ruin it for the motorcycle riders. Did he have a motorcycle? Black Pixel cell phone with an OtterBox case. Oh, he has the Pixel. Wasn't the Pixel the new one? The poor guy at Verizon was like, "You still have this and it's one piece?" Yes, I know. We went to the store in Wichita Falls and he was like, "Wow." I'm like, "Yes, it was in really good shape. I take care of my phones. I do." Sealed manila envelope containing a Samsung Galaxy. A sealed bag sealed by Steve Mullen containing an Aquafina water bottle. Okay. Okay. They said they have DNA from the crime scene. And we have an Aquafina water bottle. What do y'all think? An envelope containing a silver LG singular wireless flip phone. Well, we just, singular, because these dang telephone companies, half the time they don't work. So we have to keep changing companies. You coming up, Bubby? Come on up. Serbs has landed. Sealed, part of it's because we're hearing thunder, y'all. Sealed envelope containing a cutting of carpeted area underneath the spare tire of the Ford Focus. Let me repeat that. A sealed envelope containing a cutting of a carpeted area underneath the spare tire of the Ford Focus. A sealed envelope containing two plastic wrappers containing one swab from a driver lap belt and one swab of the driver's shoulder belt of the Ford Focus. Sealed envelope containing two plastic wrappers containing two swabs from the passenger side carpeted floorboards. I think it was on that bottle. They do. But they're matching that to what they found. What I'm saying is they may have found this Aquafina bottle at the crime scene. Okay, that's what they took. This one is about sealing of the records. I think that's entirely possible, Chelsea, because he had to have put the bullet. He had to have loaded it. Yep, he had to have loaded it. That's a good one. Yeah, the carpet cutting. Yeah. Okay. That was the search warrant and the things. Okay, now you know that the first judge recused himself, and there's a document in here for that. There's stuff where they were ruling on the gag orders. For now, there's still a gag order for the witnesses, so that, basically nobody can talk to the media. But they are, at this point, they are still allowing cameras in the courtroom. We have the probable cause affidavit here. Let's see if it's any different. No, it's the same one. It's what I read to you earlier, the probable cause. Uh, then there was the appointment of the special. They ordered a special judge because the other one recused himself. They had to order a special judge, and that's why now they have Francis C. Gull. The Honorable Benjamin A. Diener, Judge of Carroll Circuit Court, on his own motion, recuses himself and certifies this matter to the court for appointment of a special judge. And this court, being duly advised, now finds that a special judge should be appointed to hear this matter in the Carroll Circuit Court. Rule 13. And I don't know why. I don't remember why he recused himself. Let's go up back to 190. The particular circumstances within the underlying case warrant recusal and dictate that a special judge be appointed in this case. Particular circumstances within the underlying case. Special circumstances of some sort, but I don't know. I've heard anybody say why. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff in here where they're trying to suppress the evidence. There was okay, I'm going to go back and we'll flip through. Y'all ready? Oh, there's that one. There's that one. This was the subpoena for. This is the subpoena where they were asking to go in and survey his facilities to make sure he was getting proper treatment. Request for the production to non-party. Yeah, same stuff. It's related to that. I think they have to submit it to several different places. Wonder if they knew each other. Who, Linda? Oh, you mean maybe he knew some of the people who were, I don't know. I haven't heard anything as to why he did it or why he recused himself. Just special circumstances. Yeah, the test spots. So they saw something on the carpet they thought was blood. Yeah, probably. This is the summons to appear for a hearing. This is the firearms results. The cartridge in an item 016 was identified as being cycled in the firearm in item 314. Identification. An identification opinion is reached when the evidence exhibits an agreement of class characteristics and a sufficient agreement of individual marks. Sufficient agreement is related to the significant duplication of random striated impressed marks. And here's the things that were tested. We've got the gun, an envelope containing test-fired ammunition, all of that stuff. This is basically explaining what they looked at. A .40 caliber Smith & Wesson caliber cartridge manufactured by or marketed as Blazer. That's interesting when they have stuff like that in there, they're going to use that during the case. Because they can, stuff like that, they can tell where they bought it. Okay, Chels. Love you, honey. Love you. Was getting threatened by people in the community if he didn't convict. I think I do remember something about that, Lori. Like I was saying, I know that Richard Allen's wife has been threatened. She's had to move out of the house because of threats. She couldn't stay there. That kind of stuff. The judge, I think I remember hearing that the judge had been threatened too. Yep. Yep, I think you're right. This is a discovery. This is the mental health stuff I was talking about. The safekeeping deal. There was a lot of that. That's the gag order. I'm looking for something in particular. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. There was a letter from one of the inmates that was talking about how he was being mistreated that I thought was interesting. There was another inmate that was being housed in the same block as Richard Allen. And that inmate wrote into, I believe he wrote to the judge and said that Richard Allen was being mistreated. And from what I understand, they investigated all of that. And that's what some of the motions and paperwork that was in here, that's what some of that stuff was. I mean, there's a lot of it. Because, you guys, if he's not competent, in other words, they think that because of his physical stuff that he had going on with him looking so frail and all that kind of stuff, if he's not all there, he can't help in his own defense. But he's been evaluated, and they said he was fine. There have been talks, but I don't think that he's been moved. And some of those motions are in here too. It's been 5 years. It's been 6 years. In 6 years, you think they treated and tested all the evidence to have a solid conviction by now? Okay. Y'all have heard what I have told you that they have. What do you guys think? If they got DNA on top of everything else that I have told you, and he's confessing, they did set the date for his trial as January. I don't know if he's going to live that long. I thought somebody might kill him, but now it looks like he's trying to kill himself. But they're saying he's okay. See, he has the right not to eat, and they can't force him to eat. What is this one? Y'all hear that thunder? Somebody's going to get upset in a minute. Golly, where is that? I know I saw it somewhere. Okay, this one is verified motion for change. This is the change of venue. This one was, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm not showing you. In November, they filed for the change of venue. There's the answer, because I knew it was in here. This was his counsel. Brad Rossi and Andrew Baldwin are wanting, because of all these things, they're wanting him moved. No, they wanted a change of venue, and they did get change of venue, by the way, you guys. They wanted change of venue, and they did get that. That was granted. See, I've been flipping on here, and I'm only at 72. I know that is in here somewhere. They just changed the type of hearing from that he's not going to get bail. Here it is. Oh, this is the one. Here, okay. Now this is the one that Richard Allen wrote to Carroll Circuit Court and those associated, and then his cause number. In the cause listed above, I, Richard M. Allen, hereby throw myself at the mercy of the court. I'm begging to be provided with legal assistance in a public defender or whatever help is available. At my initial hearing on October 28th, I asked to find representation for myself. However, at the time, I had no clue how expensive it would be. Just to talk to someone. I also did not realize what my wife and I's immediate financial situation was going to be. We have both been forced to immediately abandon employment, myself due to incarceration, and my wife for her personal safety. She's had to abandon our house for her own safety. What little reserve there is will fail to even maintain the original residence. Again, I throw myself at the mercy of the court. Please provide me whatever assistance you may. Thank you for your time in this most urgent matter. Sincerely, Richard M. Allen. And that was 1 November of 2022. They do. They do have to manage his well-being. I don't know if they can force him to eat, though. bring, because I have watched. Okay, here's the one from the inmate. That one was from Richard Allen. Here's the one from the inmate. April 28th of 2023. Dear Clerk of Courts, April 11th. I am an inmate at Westville Correctional Facility in the same unit that Richard Allen is being housed and awaiting trial. Richard Allen is being abused and mistreated along with other inmates in Westville Control Unit, restrictive housing. There are corrupt officers and ranking officers calling Richard Allen a kid killer, teasing him that he has a visit from his family. Phone is ringing on his GTL tablet. Inmates in cells A1 through 102, Logan Osborne, A2 207, inmate Riley, inmate cell A2 204, and A2 205, threatening to kill Richard Allen and telling him to kill himself. And these inmates have made these comments in front of Warden John Gallipo, ranking officers, and officers. The staff has recorded on camera these inmates making these threats and suggestions to kill himself and has done nothing to stop it. I have proof and evidence of assaults by ranking officers and officers on inmates, abuse and mistreatment in grievance and the governor's office of Ombudsman's Bureau that have been mishandled and covered up because the Indiana Department of Corrections is allowed to police itself with their Office of Investigation and Intelligence. I recently sent letters to the U.S. Department of Justice from Indiana State Representative Dr. Vernon Smith and from the U.S. State Judiciary Committee concerning the DOJ and the FBI mishandling complaints on the Indiana Department of Corrections and their facilities. On March 21st, while in the same unit as Richard Allen, I attempted suicide and spent 3 days in the hospital due to staff and officer abuse and mistreatment. On April 9th of 2022, I attempted suicide and spent 4 days in a hospital intensive care unit. I don't know what that is. The IDOC or their mental health provider has provided me no mental health help or treatment. I correspond with a New York Times investigative reporter and her team at the University School of Law and have made them aware of the assaults, abuse, and mistreatment going on here at Westville Correctional Facility and other IDOC facilities. Please forward this letter to the judge in Richard Allen's case and to his attorneys because I have wrote to the organizations mentioned to expose the assaults, abuse, and mistreatment. Respectfully submitted, I sincerely, Robert P. Barton. P.S. Richard Allen's attorneys just exposed the abuse and mistreatment in the news media and filed an emergency petition in the court. So, okay, y'all. Whew. That's enough talking. Maybe. And hello, wow. Thanks for coming in. As a ward of Indiana, won't they give IV? I think that's what they do. I think they send them down to the, I've heard Anthony from Tier talk about this. I think they take them down to the infirmary. And when that guy talks about how he spent 4 days in intensive care, more than likely he was at the infirmary. I think that's what they do. I think they take them to the infirmary. Pretty sure. But I don't think that they can force them to eat. I think that is against their constitutional rights, is what I believe that's. He may not have lawyers. That one may not have lawyers. If he's in that ward, I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, IDOC, that's it. Indiana Department of Corrections. Thank you. Now, you know, there was a whole bunch of these papers in there, but I would have had to go back and look at, because the way that those papers were in this like stack of documents that we got, I don't know that they're all in order of like date. So like they didn't look like they matched, like from 1 to 200 or 300 or whatever it is. It didn't look like the dates were like first, from the one being the first farthest back to, it didn't look like that to me. So, and I did not sit down and write the dates out. So that's all I got for tonight, you guys. So I guess what we know right now from all of this is that he has confessed. Whoop, that was my arm I used for my camera. We know that they took a whole bunch of evidence away from his house, that they had, we know that they have DNA because they have said that. And it looks like they're trying to match that DNA to all this stuff, but we won't know the results of that DNA testing probably until trial. And I didn't see in any of that, like I said, I did not see in any of that paperwork where it said that the girls had been stabbed or anything like that. I think that everyone is making an inference that that's what it is because they're taking knives. That's what we can infer from that. And of course, we won't know until, because I don't think they've released the autopsy stuff. I don't believe they have. I don't think they would either. I think we'll have to wait till trial. So we will see if his trial is if it is in January. We'll see. So have a great, happy 4th of July. I don't know whether I will be here on Sunday. It just kind of depends. Tomorrow and the next day we are painting. Mr. Fiber has painted the ceiling in the front room, and now it's time to paint the walls. I have to take all of my clothes out of the closet, including all that new stuff I just bought. And some of it I have to go back through and wash again because it still smells like smoke from that closet. So I'm probably going to be painting the closet. That's what I think I'm going to be doing this weekend. So we shall see. And everyone, that's dealing with all of this smoke and stuff, you guys hang in there. Thinking about you. Sandy, I'm thinking about you. I hope your appointments go well next week. What else? I hope I didn't miss anybody's comments, that I got them all. And I thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching, the lurkers and everybody. Okay, y'all. Good night. I'm going to be seeing Carrie too while she's here at some point. I think we're going to go have some pho. I hope I said it right. She always tells me I didn't say it right. Okay. I love y'all. Have a great night. And we'll see you later. Have fun today.